He checked in without luggage. No suitcase, no bag, not even a coat. Just a man standing at the front desk, politely waiting. He gave a name. The clerk wrote it down. Later, that name would lead nowhere. No records, no background, no history. Room 1046. That was the key he received. A normal room, a normal floor, a normal night. Nothing about the hotel felt strange, and yet something about him did. Staff members would later disagree on how he looked. Some said he was tall, others said average height. Some remembered dark hair, others swore it was lighter. Everyone agreed on one thing. He spoke softly, too softly, as if volume itself required effort. He paid in cash. He asked no questions. He didn't look around. He simply took the key and walked toward the elevator. No one followed him. No one needed to. At least that's what they thought. He was seen again that evening, standing in the hallway, not walking, not knocking, just standing. When asked if he needed help, he smiled. A small, polite smile, and said nothing. The elevator doors closed. Room 1046 remained quiet, too quiet. The next morning, housekeeping knocked. No answer. They knocked again, still nothing. When they entered the room, the air felt wrong. Not cold, not warm, stale. Like the room had been closed for much longer than one night. The bed was untouched. The sheets were still perfectly folded. The lights were off, but the curtains were open, as if someone had stood there, watching the city below. There were no personal items, no clothing, no wallet, no identification, nothing that suggested a human life. The bathroom was dry, no sign of use, no steam, no fingerprints, just silence. Housekeeping reported it. Management checked the guest log. The name was there, but when they tried to confirm it, it didn't exist. The address was fake. The phone number led nowhere. The credit reference was blank. It was as if someone had written a placeholder and never filled it in. Security footage was reviewed. The man entered the hotel. That part was clear. He walked through the lobby. He stepped into the elevator. The doors closed, and then nothing. There was no footage of him leaving the elevator. No footage of him walking down the hallway. No footage of him entering room 1046. The camera simply skipped, a missing segment. Less than 30 seconds. But that 30 seconds mattered, because the next time the camera recorded, the hallway was empty, as if no one had ever been there. Staff began comparing notes. That's when the inconsistencies surfaced. One employee remembered him checking in late. Another remembered it being early evening. One swore he spoke with an accent. Another said his speech was completely neutral. No one could agree. And yet, everyone was certain they had seen him. The room was locked from the inside. No forced entry, no sign of struggle, no reason for concern. Except for one detail, the phone. The room phone had been unplugged, not pulled out violently, carefully removed, placed neatly beside the bed, as if someone didn't want to be contacted or didn't want to be heard. Police were notified. They treated it as a missing person case. At first, they searched nearby streets, nothing. They checked transportation logs, nothing. No one matching the description had arrived or departed. The man had come from nowhere and gone nowhere. Days passed. Room 1046 remained closed. Staff avoided it, not because of fear, because of discomfort. The room felt occupied, even when it was empty. Maintenance workers reported sounds, not footsteps, not voices, movement, like furniture being shifted. But every time they checked, nothing had moved. One worker claimed the room felt smaller, as if the walls were closer together. Another said the mirrors felt wrong. That reflections lagged, just slightly. Police reviewed the footage again. The missing 30 seconds remained missing. No glitch explanation fit. No technical fault explained why only that moment had been erased. The man never appeared again. No exit, no trace. The case was quietly closed, unsolved, filed away. But room 1046 was never the same. Guests who stayed there later reported unease, sleeplessness, a sense of being watched. Some asked to change rooms. They couldn't explain why. They just felt observed. One guest reported waking up to find the room phone unplugged, placed neatly beside the bed. Another said the curtains were open when they were certain they had closed them. No one was harmed. Nothing dramatic happened. That was the problem. The room didn't scare people. It unsettled them. And unsettling things linger longer. Eventually, the hotel removed room 1046 from rotation. Officially, for renovations. Unofficially, because too many people complained. Not loudly, quietly. Years later, someone revisited the case. They tried to track the name again. Still nothing. They expanded the search. No matching fingerprints, no missing persons reports, no death certificates, no records anywhere. It was as if the man had never existed, except he had checked in. Multiple witnesses confirmed it. He had been assigned a room. That room had been occupied. Something had been there, but not something that left evidence. Some theorized identity theft. Others suggested espionage. But none of that explained the footage, or the inconsistencies, or the room itself. The simplest explanation remained the most disturbing. What if the man wasn't hiding? What if he wasn't pretending? What if he didn't understand how to blend in? What if he was copying behavior without fully grasping it? Paying in cash, giving a name, standing politely, waiting. What if room 1046 wasn't chosen? What if it was assigned because it didn't matter? Because he wouldn't stay long, because he wasn't meant to? And maybe, just maybe, room 1046 wasn't a place he stayed. It was a place he passed through. A moment, a pause, a test. Because whatever checked into that hotel didn't leave like a person. It didn't exit, it didn't depart. It simply stopped being there. And if something can arrive, observe, occupy space briefly, and vanish, then the question isn't what happened in room 146. The question is how many times it has happened before. In other rooms, in other cities, with other people, and no one noticed.